Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Hearthstone 4 as we're playing as Germany. So the first thing we're going to do in today's episode is spend some of this naval experience, get the spirit of the Naval Academy, and while we will be doing a lot of convoy raiding, and thus it would make sense to get the convoy warfare, I find that it's already really easy to get the Sea Wolf trait. Your admirals get it very quickly since your submarines do so much attacking, and so I think it would make more sense to get the instilled aggression so we can increase our attack. That's what we're going to get here. And then for the spirit of the Navy, in this case we will focus on our submarines. I think it's the most fitting. We probably won't use destroyers all that much because frankly we're not going to focus on the Navy that much at all, and that which we do get will be the submarines. And I'm also going to wait to get this one because I'm highly considering getting the surface raiders, but I'm hesitant to have capital ships raiding alone without any screening escorts. We at least have some light cruisers I'd like to send with them, but you only get this 20% screening bonus if the capital ships don't have screens. Now you still get those other bonuses and they're helpful, but are they better than the other ones? Like probably close combat for the torpedo screen penetration, which will really help our submarines out if they ever do find themselves in combat with a regular fleet. I've also always really liked the night fighting since that's half the time, unless you're getting those three bonuses, half of the time that your fleet is out there. Let me know guys, if you ever use these surface raiders, is that even worth trying out? Let me know down in the comments. So we see that Bormann has completed his next focus. So in addition to more political power, most of the things we'll spend the political power on will be cheaper. So I had a question regarding the Heinrich Himmler branch of focuses. If you guys have the DLC and have started to play with Germany, at least where you go this route and have the inner circle, how does it work with these two focuses? Because I actually haven't gotten Himmler yet, and so I'm not sure that you get to pick which one you want him to do. Maybe there's an event that pops up, lets you pick. So we're going to continue to work on the economic focuses, and we'll get the workers' rights despite the fact that the industrial expansion is significantly better. But this one's only 35 days, so basically get the bonuses quicker. So we'll probably do that first, and then we'll do this one, but you need both of them in order to do the agricultural reforms. Yeah, we're going to get the workers' rights. We do have political power to spend, and I think we'll get the one more political advisor. And this is going to be the Reich Security Main Office Director, Reinhard Heydrich. It's only going to cost us 75 of our political power. Obviously not that helpful since the intelligence system, it's never as significant as far as how it impacts gameplay. We're going to get the commando training. So, getting modifiers for it, it's only so helpful. We can't get our first operative. Fritz is probably the best choice here since he has 3 traits: Escape Artist, Commando, and Tough. And then he also has 3 additional nationalities. So he's Dutch, South African, and American. And then I think we should send him to Austria because I really want to see what's going on here with their army, like how large it is. Our information at the moment is quite limited. We can see that they have between 6 to 13 divisions, 25,000 to 70,000 manpower being used, which remember we need to get 24 times that amount, which seems really high. Again, if you succeed at some of those events, we do need to get a cipher going. We could take a look and see how long Austria would take. It's 960 days because we haven't gotten any of those bonuses yet. We'd probably reduce it significantly, but yeah, I don't know if they'll be around that long. Really, it never makes sense to get the deciphering done for anybody that isn't a major power, and Austria is not going to take us too long to conquer. I guess we'll do the British first. So go ahead and stomp Austria's. So we get some of those other upgrades. It's going to take a really long time to get that done. So it is not Trotsky that is taken over. It's Ivan Smirnov. Looks like the war has finished up over here, and the fascists did not win. So somebody had speculated that might be the case and that we needed to send volunteers there. I looked at them before we started the episode, and I just didn't think we had enough time to get them there because it takes a while to get volunteers. So I figured that they would, they would obviously accept them, but that they would lose the war before we ever arrived, because they looked very close to losing, and frankly there wasn't many divisions involved. So we would have played a significant role if we'd gotten there in time, but it just would have taken too long. So it looks like the Carlists have risen up here in Spain, so now you got the 4-way Spanish Civil War going on. And we'll have to see how that develops. if in fact the communists do win as we set them to. Already we've had something happen differently than as we had designed it to happen. We're gonna go and make sure we get these ships finished up here before we start anything new. We can also get that second operative because we have that political advisor. We'll get Hans Wentz since he's a commando. And then I suppose we'll send him to Czechoslovakia. You know, just these countries that we'll likely end up at war with. So we got the commando training. We should probably work on the radio interception group next, get that decryption power, since obviously that's going to take far too long without it. We've completed workers' rights, still can't get that focus yet. I think it requires that the divisions be like fully trained and equipped. Maybe not fully trained, but at least fully equipped. So you can't just like pump out a bunch of like half-equipped divisions out really quickly. We're going to get the industrial expansion next. That's a 70-day focus, so it's going to take a bit longer than some of the other focuses that we've worked on thus far. Albert Speer's industrial plan is questioned. A bitter struggle has broken out between rivals within Adolf Hitler's inner circle. Tensions have risen as Albert Speer has gained influence and increased authority. Fritz Todt and Albert Speer have been vocal about each other's methods over how to best manage German industries and arms production, all the while vying for Adolf Hitler's favor. So this event is to ensure that you get a choice before you go with this mutually exclusive option here, because once you get this, then you'll not be able to fully go down this route here. And that's why I was wondering if with Himmler you'd get a similar event for these two, since these are both mutually exclusive, because you don't get one in this particular case with Bormann and Hess. So I'm not entirely sure if we'll see an event with Himmler or not. But we're going to stick with Speer in this case. The government of the federal state of Austria has once again placed their trust in Alfred Jannotte, a field marshal with clearly anti-German sentiments, with plans to fortify our borders and a plan tailored to counter an attack from us. This field marshal has been a nuisance to us before and will likely be so again. So we could say he needs to go. It'll cost us 50 political power. If they accept, then the total army fighting strength required will be lowered for that focus. If we say that's their decision, we'll get an increase of fascism. Again, they'll probably just decline this, so probably just better to get the increase of fascism, honestly. Get some type of bonus out of this, because I just think they'll decline. We're just spending political power for nothing. So yeah, let's go with this one. We also just got the logistic company. Next, we're going to go ahead and start working on the paratroopers, because I'd like to use those in this campaign. We often don't use paratroopers these days, but with our lack of focus on the Navy, we're going to have to find some other way to get across the seas. We're going to get this option here to increase the research bonus and give us those other bonuses. I don't think we need to upgrade anything. And let's make a further adjustment to our troops to add the logistic company to the infantry and probably the tank division as well. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and add the logistics here. Might want to go and get the field hospitals. Perhaps switching out the artillery since we already have those there. So you know what, this is what we're going to do. Remove that, and then we'll replace that one with the logistics. And then when we get some additional experience, we can add field hospitals here. Although maybe we won't get the field hospitals for the tanks, I don't know. I do want to try and conserve manpower. And of course, this field hospitals, they have the additional bonus of keeping your experience up. We got the anti-tanks research, excellent. So I don't know if we're going to work on the fortifications. Probably going to be more aggressive in this campaign, relying on building forts a bit less. We'll still need them in some locations. I don't know if this is like the best thing to work on this early in the game. Instead, we should probably work on like oil and rubber processing, since that's going to be a continual issue for us, as well as the fuel refining. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get the rubber processing. Because even though we'll have the French, and thus we can trade with them for rubber, because of the British fleet, it might be difficult for the French to get access to all of their rubber. So we have a trait for the artillery manufacturer. We've already got the production efficiency, but we can go get an additional one. Continue to just focus on that. Since we're actually having issues with equipment at the moment. So with the raiding fleet, we're going to get the fuel usage reduction to offset that increase that the first trait gives you. Got one of these tank units finished training, so we're going to put them into our tank army, which they need to train as well. We'll eventually get rid of this motorized division, but as of right now, the tank units aren't very fast because they still have a lot of old tanks with them. So having a strictly motorized unit would be helpful since they have that very high speed. We finished building all the ships that we started with in our production chain. So let's go ahead and get some more submarines. So we'll take a look and see if this design is finished. They are not. So we do need to add a torpedo tube to them. Torpedo tubes 2. In order to increase that attack. Probably want to go ahead and get the additional engine as well. Although I'm trying to tell the difference between these two besides increasing the fuel usage and the production costs, and I'm not seeing it. They don't increase the speed any further as you'd expect from the additional engine. Doesn't increase the range or the speed or anything. It also doesn't seem to change these adjusters either. So I'm not entirely sure what's the point of getting that. Maybe I'm just missing something. Let me know down in the comments if I am, but yeah, we're just gonna leave the first engine on there. I had forgotten that we had the submarine designer, so we're actually not going to be using the raiding fleet. Yeah, we're going to use the submarine designer for the subs. Clearly that's probably the better option. So let's go ahead and save this. It's going to cost us 4 experience, and we'll use the submarine designer to build those. And we'll put the full 10 dockyards into those once we get this one completed here. So all of our dockyards essentially, and just work on submarines for now. Because we don't really have anything else that is, up to date. We're missing a lot of technology, and frankly, we're probably just not going to use it anyways. We really need a lot of subs. At the moment, we don't have a huge sub fleet. So we're going to work on those for a while until we get more dockyards and more techs. We also need to get the anti-tanks building. We are lacking resources, so we'll trade for more rubber. We're trading with Siam at the moment because I couldn't get enough from France before. Something had happened with them. So we can go ahead and try and trade one factory with them now. Hopefully we don't lose the trade with them again. And then we also need to get some tungsten. And almost all of these are enemies outside of Sweden here, so we'll be trading with them. We only need 3, but we know we'll need more as we get those military factories constructed. Got the radio interception group, so we want to get the next level of that. We can also become spy master for the 50 political power to get another spy. Might as well, even though I don't think it gives us any advantage at the moment until we start getting some additional members in our faction. Got the improved machine tools. We'll get the oil processing to increase the fuel gain from refineries, but I don't know if we'll get fuel refining 2 now because it doesn't give as good of a bonus as this. We're extracting 5 oil. That's it. So it's just not going to help us all that much. And we're going to need to start getting some refineries built. In fact, we can go ahead and get one started up. The Workers' Republic of Iceland has joined the Northern People's Union. So they're in the same faction now. So this is a separate communist faction. Somebody brought this up in the comments. They might have issues with separate communist factions, not everybody joining the Soviet bloc. So what I tried to do when I picked the communist countries is pick countries that specifically stated that they would join the Comintern, which they should be joining this side, which doesn't have a faction. Because Stalin should end up losing this. So that'd have to result in creating a new faction. We'll have to see if anything happens with that. That could cause some issues. You never know how things are going to develop with those focus trees. But hopefully it goes all right and we have one large communist faction, even if you do have some countries that are outside of that faction. World tension is currently at 31%. It's a call for international revolutionary brigades. So this resulted in us losing some manpower because they went and joined against Stalin. Not a lot of manpower. I don't know if that's based off of your current communist support, which we only have 12%. Fascist support is now at 57%. So they finally have a majority of the support in the country. We can take a look and see how the war between Japan and China is going. Usually China does very well until Japan starts doing the naval invasions, which the AI is limited from doing that in the beginning. And so until that limit is removed, China typically does pretty well. Once they start doing the naval invasions, then the war always seems to end extremely quickly. We're going to go and get the Army Department next, since one of our main goals here is finding out what's going on in Austria, like how many troops they have. So we know just how many we have to create, which we are having some problems due to lack of many of these different types of equipment. We have the infantry equipment, so we can at least build those. I guess we need to get those training as well. Looks like all these guys need to train. You know what, let's go ahead and take the cab unit and switch them over to a regular infantry. So this is the other way that it becomes easier to annex Austria, or at least to be able to take that focus, is that you get this event here, and the total army fighting strength required for the national focus will be lowered weekly, and it corresponds with the popularity of neutrality in the federal state of Austria. So basically, rather than have that limit in the focus tree where they had before, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was a certain date that you had to wait in order to take the focus. So rather than do that, now they have this new system. We do need to start getting more troops going to the border. So yeah, we actually have all these guys. We'll just put one on each province for now. Remember, eventually we're going to create a front over here. I just don't feel like doing it just yet. And we haven't even started the focus, which we will want to start putting troops over there once we start working on the focus, because again, I assume that they're going to refuse it and we're going to have to invade them. So we got the maintenance companies, so another support company we got to add to our divisions. And I suppose we're going to get this one as well, because we'll eventually use it in 67 days. There's a few division designs I could see that being useful. We have some army experience to spend, so let's go and spend it on our main infantry division, try and get them finished up. We're going to add the anti-tanks there, even though we don't have the necessary equipment built just yet. And you know what, rather than add maintenance companies here, I think we're going to put the signal companies into the infantry. I think it'd be pretty useful to have those for the reinforcement bonus. So that'll be our last support company for the infantry. Let's go and save this. And then with the tanks, we want to get the field hospitals and the maintenance companies. We don't have the experience to finish these up just yet, so we'll just save them as is. And then we'll just need to get them training again, all granting us more army experience. We got the industrial expansion focus completed. That's more factories, nice little research bonus, and some bonuses for the recovering economy. We get more factory and dockyard outputs and research speed. That's always helpful to have. Down here with the inner circle, this one is 82 days towards completion. This one's only 25 of 280, so this is going to take a long time, but you get some really good bonuses once it is done. You know what, guys, I think we will go ahead and work on the Himmler focus. We want him to be able to start progressing down his tree, and there wasn't a lot of comments regarding this, but the couple that I did see said that we should get Himmler over Goebbels. So we'll get this knocked out, just because it does only take 14 days to get those bonuses, even if they're not all that helpful at the moment. We are stuck here. Yeah, it looks like that civil war just wrapped up, and it seems that Stalin did lose, as we set to have happen. So it's the end of the Soviet Civil War. And so they'll need to create a new faction or join one of the existing factions. Yugoslavia is requesting the sale of airplanes. We're going to say we can't spare anything because that's a future enemy. We know that Yugoslavia is going communist. The war in Finland has kicked up. So this is one where we are going to want to help the fascist side out, White Finland. Now, given they're probably going to be able to win this on their own. You know, they got all the highly populated areas, so I expect this shouldn't be too difficult for them. But let's go and send some volunteers since we haven't got to do that yet. So we're able to send 3 divisions. So we're going to send 1 tank division, 1 motorized for the speed since our tanks are still pretty slow. I got a lot of those old ones still. So you can see here we don't have many of the new ones just yet. About half of them are the new ones. And then we're also going to send them an infantry division. I suppose I should be more specific and say a leg infantry division, since the motorized is also infantry. Mainly for like defense and for the more difficult terrain here. And then as for the general, we're going to send Heinz Guderian to get him more experience. I usually use Rommel, and so we're going to do things a little bit different. And this is another thing we're going to do different. I usually get the combined arms expert, because the majority of defense that an armored division gets comes from the motorized or the mechanized battalions that are in it. So So to me, it seems like it's better to get a 15% bonus on those battalions over a 10% bonus for the entire division. However, what we're going to do is we're going to do this one because I'm hoping our tanks should have better defense with all the different bonuses we're going to get for tanks. I'm hoping they'll have better defense than they usually do. I don't know which one of these is going to result in a better overall defense, but we'll do the Panzer Expert. Again, it's probably not going to change it that much. But I'm just trying to do a few different things in this campaign from what I generally do. We're going to go ahead and get some more traits for our commanders. Manstein, we'll probably get him the Fortress Buster. You can also get him the Guerrilla Fighter for the increased entrenchment speed. I don't generally get that one. It's okay. So let's go ahead and send this army as volunteers. They are not fully experienced, but that's okay. And they should accept that, and it'll take us to the 15th of December to arrive. So not too long, just a couple weeks, and then we'll be able to help them out in their conflict. Okay, so it is like those other branches. It gives you a choice on which route you want to go. That's what I was hoping, but I wasn't entirely sure since I hadn't gotten this far on Himmlers. I hadn't even gotten Himmler. I only played till about 39, just kind of testing out the new focus tree and some of the new mechanics, and I didn't get Himmler, so I wasn't sure how his focus route worked. I guess we should take a look at these two branches and decide which one we'd want to do more. I'm thinking the expanded SS security duties. This gets you some new generals, get more non-core manpower bonuses, the cost reduction in the special forces. You can have more special forces, and then you'll get these SS units as well. So I think this is just a more interesting route. And we're already getting some bonuses for our intel from the inner circle. So between the Waffen SS and the Gestapo route, we're going to go with the SS one. So he'll start working on that focus. We need to select our own new focus here. So we don't have the necessary techs to continue down the economy branch of our focus tree. And so we're going to move back to the army. A lot of good focuses to get here. Honestly, really kind of difficult to choose which one. We're going to go with the advanced Panzer research though. I think that would be pretty helpful to get here now. That is a 70-day focus. Let's go and get some synthetic refineries for some rubber and some extra fuel. So just get 2 of those for now and then go back to constructing the military factories in these locations where we're getting 100% construction bonus there. We also have some political power to spend. Let's go and start working on our military high command. Because of our inner circle bonuses, these guys are much cheaper. We're going to be focusing on attack and defense. So let's get Rommel first. Yeah, we'll get Rommel first. We need 75 more political power before we can get the infantry bonuses. Remember, just wait until the 15th when our volunteers arrive in Finland. Let's continue with the intelligence bonuses here. So again, just one more day here and our troops have arrived, and we're just going to try and help as much as possible. Try and get this war wrapped up quickly and get ourselves some army experience. So let's take a look at the supply hub situation, just the one there and then the one at the port. So let's go ahead and send this unit over here using the rails with the motorized, and then the tank will go over here with the intention of attacking from the 2 different directions. We will create an offensive line just for the planning bonus, and then we'll want to turn this down just a little bit. So they don't have any organization, but there's nobody here to stop us, so let's go ahead and attack. Yeah, they don't have enough troops here. And then I guess we'll try and get up behind them. And we'll have this guy just take out this territory here. Getting around Finland is a little bit difficult because of all the lakes. So I think they have to come back up here to take this province. So what we'll do is just have the tank go down there and get that for us. We want to help them get that unit destroyed, but let's go up this way first. And we'll just have this guy help from that location. I want to do some fighting so we get some experience. That unit is already almost destroyed. So we fought a little bit. We got bloodied. Helped out to a degree. Let's go ahead and take this over now. But imagine how long it would have taken if we hadn't been here to assist them. Because they always do things the longer way. Rather than, you know, getting behind troops, cutting them off. And going after the victory points. You know, this guy can just go grab that victory point over there. Since we have the infantry here, tank will actually go this way. And again, this shouldn't take too long. This should be a very quick war. Just a matter of weeks, hopefully. It is the worst time to be fighting in Finland. Over here in December. There's a lot of snow on the ground. So it does make being on defense a little bit easier. We did get a trait for the automotive manufacturer. Many of these come with some penalties. So I'll probably just go with the breakthrough. This one doesn't have any penalties, but it's for mechanized. And we don't have any of those yet. So yeah, we'll just want to get... Are we not using these yet? We are not. So let's go and add that MIO to the trucks so that we get the increased breakthrough. We also need to update the truck line. Losing a little bit of efficiency here. So we're gotten down to the tanks now for where our factories are being added, and then they'll move over to the planes. But we need a ton of equipment, guys. Everything is currently short. Let's go ahead and help them get those units wiped out while he advances towards the supply hub. And then our truck here will just go towards these victory points to get those taken. And then the infantry unit will just advance up along the coast. So the Spanish Directory was annexed. So it looks like the Civil War is coming to a close here, and the Republicans are winning. So the Communists will win that, as we desired. Alright, so these guys were defeated, unfortunately, so they're on the retreat, but they're down to just having the one province there. So we got two things finished up. The agency upgrade, which we're just going to go ahead and get the Air Force Department next. And then we also got Excavation 2. And since we're in 1938, we're going to get the computing machines. Increase that research speed. We can get an additional operative. Might want to get Elsa Lester here. She's a seducer and she's tough. Yeah, we'll go ahead and add her. Should be our first female spy. I suppose we're going to send her to Austria, where we're going to do the propaganda to reduce their stability and war support. Could do the collaboration government here as well. I just don't want to invest in it, you know, the civilian factories and equipment and stuff, and it's unnecessary. We'll be able to defeat them pretty quickly. So the truck's going over there to grab that victory point. These guys will get this one. You know what? Let's actually have them go after that one next, just in case that unit doesn't do it. Our tank is still on the retreat over here. Make sure they're assigned to that. And then when they get there, that they're getting a bit of a planning bonus there. So yeah, I think we have to take over all of the territory. Oh, maybe not. Finland was annexed and their equipment has been seized. So Finland is also at war with Norway here. So we'll have to assist them with that. I think supply is going to be a huge issue up on this front. So we'll have to see how this goes. Well, we got the signal company, excellent. Next we're going to get the improved engine for the tanks. And we'll use the... Let's use the medium tank designer. I don't think we've used them for anything yet. Might be wrong on that. And then we also got a trait for the support equipment manufacturer. Let's increase the funds gain so we get the rest of these traits a bit quicker. And then we also need to add those two support companies. So signal here for our infantry, and then the tanks still, oh that's right, we finished up the support companies for the tanks, but we still need to add the motorized anti-tanks and the motorized anti-air for a combat width of 30 and 10 more experience. And thus we finished both of these two division designs. So still need to work on the mountain troops, increase their size, give them support companies. But I don't know, we might focus on paratroopers instead. Might be the better way to go. Alright, so these guys are making their way to the border, though we might want to force them on the rails here. Otherwise, it's going to take them forever to get over there. And Spear has finished up his national focus, which is going to give us a really nice bonus to factory and dockyard output, also modifying that design company. So again, we eventually are going to want to change over that, I think, because it just gives so many good bonuses. And you're still going to get a 15% research bonus, but rather than it be for all industrial techs, it's only going to be for the construction one. So could wait until after we get the two 1939 production techs and then switch over before we start going after the construction techs. Obviously you wouldn't get it for all these bonuses here, but there's always going to be a little bit of a trade-off. Because of course we don't switch over, then we're only getting research bonuses, which won't even be used all the time. You know, obviously only when we're researching. So the tanks are over here going after the mountains. Obviously not the best place for them, but there's nobody here defending it at least. So this will allow us to get this territory cut off so that Norway can't send any troops over here, and just allow us to get this all taken over while it's undefended, like this little patch of territory over here. So we do have some experience to spend, both air and naval experience. So we'll probably have to do that next episode, but we could spend this political power real quick since we already know who we're going to get. We're going to get our infantry experts. You could also make an argument to go for Runstead for the army regrouping. This is really helpful when making rapid offensives, but you know what, let's just go for the attack and defense. He's also really cheap. So unfortunately we do have to end today's episode here. Got our first little taste of warfare, just helping out Finland with our 3 divisions. I did forget to select a field marshal here, so we need to do that. So they'll be getting those bonuses, like the increased max planning, increased max entrenchment, plus all the other bonuses that they'll grant. We only have 1 field marshal at the moment, but some of our focuses will grant additional ones. But yeah, we'll get him appointed. He doesn't have any other traits that we can get. At least we're getting some bonuses from the field marshal. So hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. We hope to see you on the next one. And thanks for watching.